Well, hey friends, it's Natalie. So glad you stopped by to hang out with me today. Hello, Happy New Year for those of you who celebrate. Can you believe it's a new year? So crazy. It's been a few weeks since I've chatted with you, talked to my camera, even gotten my camera out. It was dusty. I batch filmed and edited a bunch of videos so that I could actually take a holiday, and it was very refreshing. It was wonderful. We were so sick for a couple of weeks there, but we're feeling better, ready to kick off the new year with sort of a heart-to-heart. I'm gonna be answering some of the questions that you left me here on YouTube, as well as anonymously over on my Instagram stories. I've got a wide range of topics, questions about tips and advice for minimalism or my experience with decluttering, some personal questions about my life specifically, and other stuff kind of in those categories. So I hope you'll settle in. This video will probably be a longer one. You know I like to get chatty. And if there's anything that you can expect for 2023 on my channel, which I got that question a lot, it's a lot more chatty videos. I just really want to be able to just open up and share my heart. That's why I started doing YouTube, and I'm really excited for what this year holds. And I'm so, so grateful that you are here with me for it. Okay, let's start with this one. What are your overall intentions going into 2023? I love that you didn't use the word resolutions, because sometimes that can make us cringe a little bit. For me, I like the word that keeps coming to mind that I want to pursue is like balance in all things. So balancing work and home life, which is very difficult doing what I do. So that's definitely something that I want to throw some energy and research and intention toward. I want to find balance between rest and play. There's a lot that I learned actually in 2022 that has led me to realize that there are some things that require constant maintenance in order to balance out in my life. Balance and good boundaries with relationships, not just in person, but also on social media. Balance and good relationships with food and exercise. And like I said, these are all things that I started to like really think about in this last year, but going into 2023, like it's a big intention of mine to really pursue learning more about balance and how that kind of ebbs and flows and flexes and changes throughout the year. I would love to know in the comments, what are some of your goals or resolutions or intentions for this new year? Another question that I got is, what is your word for this year? Word or phrase, I think is what they said. I think a big area of balance that I have been learning about is this idea, and this is the phrase that I'm bringing into 2023. If you saw last week's video, then you know this already, but it's the idea of progress over perfection. As a recovering perfectionist, I definitely can get the idealistic side of me out of balance with what is realistic. And something that has really just stretched me as far as that goes is my children, being a mom, and especially in this stage of life that I'm at with my kids. In 2023, my boys turn 9. I could cry just even saying that. My little girl turns 6, and we have really just rounded the corner into a new stage. And it was actually very recently, like in the last 2 months. Family life, dynamics, sibling relationships, parent to kid relationships, they're all a bit different. And there's positives and negatives with that, just like any stage of life, but something that has been a challenge for me, like I've challenged myself, is just becoming more and more selfless as my kids get older. And by selfless, I don't mean being a doormat. I don't mean being their slave. I don't mean just like doing all the work and never expecting my family to pitch in or anything like that. What I mean by selfless is actually really letting go of my perfectionistic tendencies. And like if someone's gonna load the dishwasher up and it's different than how I would do that, I'm just gonna let it go. I am not the only person here with wants and needs. They're not toddlers, they're not babies, they're not preschoolers anymore. They're very much individuals with strong wills, and that is something to be celebrated and embraced. But the perfectionistic side of me goes, no, this is what we're gonna do for our morning routine. This is the time that we're going to eat. This is, and I need to let that go. I don't want to micromanage my family. Just like making it through a decluttering pile is progress, making it through the day is progress at this stage of life. I kind of feel like I've been kind of thrown back into a bit of a like survival mode. That's something that I think I want to really be intentional about embracing and just see things as progress versus perfection and just kind of let it go, which is something that I talked about in last year's New Year's goals video, was just learning to let things go. And I feel like is going to be a lifelong pursuit, a lifelong lesson that I'm continually learning over and over again and adapting and changing as my family adapts and changes. What's the next renovation for your home? So I think the next thing that we're going to work on is probably my office space, but that's a big project. Like that is going to be a beast to tackle and probably something that takes several weeks. There's several phases in that project. So I can imagine the way I film those videos will kind of be like several weeks mashed up together, kind of like I did our kitchen renovation. But I have a couple of projects. There's a living room, like a wainscoting wall treatment, possibly doing some brick masonry around the fireplace. We would love to remodel our bedroom or like renovate it. It doesn't need walls knocked down and stuff like that. Actually, we would probably be putting like wainscoting or wall treatments and stuff like that in our bedroom. Stuff is pretty plain around here, and we've kept it that way intentionally as we settle into this home, especially with the other huge, more pressing renovation projects or homestead projects that we needed to do outside. And I am very glad that I didn't like rush into doing some stuff here in the living room, because actually since before, like when I was starting to pin things for my dream living room or whatever until now, my style has sort of changed a little bit, and I've actually settled into more of what my style is. So be looking out for some of that in the coming year. I don't know what we'll get to, but that's on the docket. Some living room refresh, bedroom refresh, and then of course the big project, which is my office. Priscilla says, I love the idea of decluttering, but just find it so hard to carve out time for it. I homeschool, I have a lot of housework, I cook 3 meals a day, and I work from home. How do you carve time out? So for me, in the times where I have been the most busy outside of doing any decluttering, like with work and kids and homeschooling and maintaining a household, cooking 3 meals a day, especially when Weston's been working like 40 to 60 hours a week, for me, it's the magic of the 5-minute declutter. I found that in my head, I didn't have enough time. And if I told myself, look, I'm just gonna spend 5 minutes, literally setting a timer or putting on 1 or 2 songs on my speakers in my kitchen and going, I'm taking care of this drawer. And if I get to nothing else, at least at the end of the day, I have a decluttered drawer. Again, it's progress over perfection. We don't need to do what we see in YouTube videos. I've made those videos and I stand by those videos, but sometimes you have to go into watching these big whole house declutters, or let's declutter my entire kitchen, with a grain of salt. You're watching a 25 to 35 minute video that probably took hours upon hours, if not days, to film. So I think sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves to accomplish or like declutter the same amount or have like the same sort of finished product in the end of these quick videos that we watch, and we think there is no way I have hours or days to devote to something, when in reality it's those baby steps along the way that really make the biggest impact. You don't have to like set an entire weekend aside in order to make progress in your home. And 9 times out of 10, when I set that 5-minute timer and I start working on one drawer, I find that it's actually like this sort of centrifugal, this inertia is what I'm trying to find. I knew there was a physics term. This like inertia of moving on to the next thing, and suddenly I find that I have all of this time that I thought I didn't have. And if I get interrupted or if it gets stopped, at least I did that 5-minute little decluttering session. So that's the encouragement that I would give to you. The other thing here, and when I see this question and read the word housework or cooking 3 meals a day, let me encourage you that the result of decluttering, the result of simplifying your home, even if it's just in those little 5-minute timer declutters that you do, affects how you live your life throughout the day. Having a simplified home helps me keep my home clean and helps me clean it way faster than I used to. Having a simplified space, like in our homeschool room, helps me homeschool my kids. Having a simplified pantry or kitchen or a decluttered fridge helps me put those 3 meals a day together for my family. So it's like this symbiotic relationship. You make a little time for decluttering, even if it's just a couple of minutes, even if it's just one drawer or one cupboard, just the shoe shelf in your entry. Getting those projects done, it has this snowball effect. Even if it's not a great day to let that inertia happen or let that snowball effect happen, at least you got that one thing done, and that's a win. Remember, progress over perfection. Am I gonna say this? Should we turn this into a drinking game even though I don't drink? How do you and Weston plan for your time without kids, I mean? How do you keep romance alive? This question got several thumbs up and then someone replied, yes, this one, please, this one. So that tells me that this is something that you guys struggle with or like really want to have an answer for. And I know why, because it can be very difficult, especially in certain stages of a young family, to carve that time out. And I think that's where intentionality and a bit of like unsexy planning comes in. Sometimes if we didn't put time together, whether that's just like hanging out and eating takeout or more intimate moments, if we didn't actually put it on the calendar, chances are that side of the relationship would fall to the wayside. We, by nature, want to have it feel spontaneous and sweet and exciting and romantic. Sometimes we need that as our fallback and our saving grace. And I believe that we are rewarded for our intentionality, even if in the moment it doesn't feel very sexy to put something on the calendar. It's fostering those moments of connection, which is only a good thing. That is definitely something that is a challenge right now for us. Like I was saying earlier, with like a different sort of phase that we're in with our family, our kids have been actually needing us and needing our attention and our connection a little bit more, which we don't resent. In a time like this, I liken this, like I was saying, it's kind of like survival mode. I liken this back to when my kids were newborns, babies. Ultimately, outside of like an immediate need, my husband is my top priority. And that is something that we determined before we even became parents, and it has served us very well. And when our kids see that imbalance in our lives, they only benefit from knowing that mom and dad are a team, they defer to each other, that they're selfless with one another, and that we don't just use our kids as an excuse to not show each other some attention. So there's the answer that I have to that, but that is definitely something that we are still learning and working through, and that's something that changes through the different stages of our life. What is something you're not minimal? I think this question means like, is there something in your life that you're not minimal about? Well, I mean, take a look at any of the comments of any of the videos that I've made about minimalism, and you will find several people who have all of the answers as to the things that I'm not minimal about. But I don't listen to those because I'm the only one who really has a say over my life and what I keep and what I let go of. And I live by my own set of rules and standards, as I believe everyone else should, when it comes to minimalism or simplified living. I break a lot of the conventional rules about minimalism, but honestly, these rules are arbitrary. And they're just put out there by people who follow minimalism sort of as a like dogmatic religion. I actually made a video a couple of years ago that talks about all of these rules because they don't actually exist. I use air quotes because there are no rules, but I made a video about like the more conventional rules that I break about minimalism, and I will link that video in the description box. The number one thing that I can think of is in my effort to have a stocked pantry and fridge and storage space of consumables. So dry goods and flour. I don't have quite the prepper pantry like some people do. That's actually a goal of mine, is to be able to consciously and respectfully toward, you know, other people shopping at the grocery store, build up a bigger collection should we need it. There have been several times in my life, newly postpartum, global pandemic, the world shut down, there was nothing on the store shelves, where I was so glad that I had a good stock of spaghetti sauce and pasta and flour in my pantry, bags of rice. It has really, really served our family well. And in that video that I'm linking for you guys, the rules about minimalism that I break, I say, you know what, if you want to take my minimalism card away from me because I have a good stock in my pantry, then you know what, you go right ahead. What's your favorite part about living in the Pacific Northwest? Probably for me, it's just like the constant change of scenery. I have driven the same roads into town my entire life, and every time I drive into town, the view is something different. The Cascade Mountains are ever just like changing. It depends on the time of the day. The weather is constantly changing. It depends on if it's rainy or foggy, or we just had snow a couple of weeks ago that was just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. We don't have snow for like 3 or 4 or 5 months on end like some states. It's, you know, here we get to enjoy it and then it's gone. Just kind of like the hot weather too. Like it's here, we enjoy it, we splash around with the sprinkler in the front yard, and then a few weeks later, the breeze blows in and it's September and it's time to enjoy cooler weather. I just really love that about where we live. Will there be any changes to the type of content you are sharing on your channel in 2023? Probably not big changes. For the beginning of 2023, because I feel like it's on everyone's minds, especially after the holidays, I fully intend to go through every square inch and nook and cranny of my home and do a big declutter. I actually announced this a couple of videos ago, so if you missed it, I am going to be going back through my original Messy to Minimal series that I started in 2020. And as closely as I can, I'm going to be going episode by episode and taking a look back and reacting to some of the stuff that I did in those episodes when I was first starting out on decluttering and learning about minimalism. And then I'm going to take you through the process of doing some decluttering and organization in those spaces and go episode by episode as closely as I can. And I say that because there are certain episodes that I probably wouldn't film again with this new stage of life that we're in with our kids. And actually, since we moved into this new house, I probably filmed like 1, maybe 2 videos that showed their bedrooms, like had the camera in their rooms and we're doing some decluttering together, kind of like I did in the old house. But I just had a very clear conviction that that is no longer something that I want to do. I no longer want to show their bedrooms. My kids are hardly ever in my videos at this point anyway. And it's not that I want to make it all about me. I think you guys know that. It's really simply just to protect my kids' privacy, to really respect them. I want their bedrooms and their personal spaces to be that, personal spaces, and I want it to be a safe space for them. I don't want them to walk in and have a camera in there. I don't regret filming in my kids' rooms before. I feel like YouTube was a different place. The world kind of was a different place, and my kids were much, much younger, unaware. They didn't care at all. Actually, they hardly spent any time in their rooms as it was. Their rooms were kind of just storage. That has changed, and so have I, and I stand by that, and I'm okay with that. I feel like sometimes when content creators, YouTubers, whatever you want to call them, when we make a change or do something a little bit different, that people can get a little stinky about it. Thankfully, I'm happy to report that I've had only positive feedback from you guys with the change that I made, and I wasn't really loud about it. I didn't make some big announcement like, hey, I'm not showing my kids' rooms anymore. I just would in the video say, hey, I don't really film in my kids' rooms, so we're gonna take it out here, or we'll just talk about it, or I'll just show you what I've decluttered out of there. I don't want to walk into their rooms and like embarrass them with a mess that they have in there. I'm okay with you guys seeing my messy bedroom or my messy bathroom or office. That's because I'm old enough, I'm a big girl, and I'm able to make those decisions. And until my kids are old enough and ready to make those decisions for themselves, I'm just gonna bow out. And so it might be a bit of a challenge to follow the messy to minimal episodes where I was in my kids' bedrooms. I sort of have a plan in place for tackling that. I'm okay with showing their stuff. A Hot Wheel toy or a Lego creation, I don't feel like is an invasion of privacy, but showing it in their room might be. So that might change down the road. You know, when my kids get to be teenagers, they might want to have a little bit more involvement in my videos. But as it is right now, my kids, my channel, my videos, my thumbnails, my Instagram posts, anything that I share publicly is never dependent on my kids' participation. I'm in my kitchen and you see behind me that my kids are playing Minecraft. That's one thing. They're playing they're just going about their day. But I'm always willing to change that and to evolve that. My standards and practices over the years have changed, and that's okay. It's okay to change. It's okay to reevaluate and pivot. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we stopped uploading videos to our family vlog channels, because as our kids got older, it no longer felt like it was a good fit for our family and for what we value to do that. However, and I've gotten questions like, are you gonna bring the family vlog channel back? I've had several questions like that, or like, what happened to that? I'm not gonna go into all the details of why we stopped, because I've actually already talked about this several times. I have dreams for the future. I'm not saying it's gonna happen anytime soon or even maybe this year, but I do have dreams for the future of being able to revive that channel and share more like homesteading stuff there, because that sort of content doesn't really do well on this channel. And so it's kind of, it doesn't make sense for me to spend a lot of time putting out homesteading, gardening, and, you know, outdoorsy sort of content on this channel, because there's some very specific things that you guys want to see here, very specific things that the YouTube algorithm wants me to post. And sometimes that can feel like my creativity and my artistic endeavors with doing videos are sort of hampered by that. It's actually why I started this channel, was because our family vlog channel was going on and I wanted a place where I could just upload whatever I wanted. So that's why I started this channel. But then this channel started doing well, which I'm not complaining about. I'm so grateful. But YouTube, and one of the questions that I got was, what is the best thing about doing YouTube? What is the hardest thing about doing YouTube? And I will say one of the hardest things is just this uphill battle, this moving target of the YouTube algorithm. I love what I do, and I love being able to share about simple living and minimalism and do declutters with you, because honestly, it only benefits me, because here I am improving my lifestyle and improving my home and making progress in my own space and learning so many amazing things along the way that I get to share with you and pass on some of that knowledge and that excitement that I have about this progress and these improvements that I make. But there's also this other side of me that wants to be able to just pick up the camera and film whatever the heck I want to film. I have this dream that someday, like when I think of YouTube's success, it's not going full time, it's not hitting 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers. It's literally being able to film whatever the heck I want to film and post the video, and people will watch it. As it is right now, if I don't have certain words in the title of my thumbnail or the title of my video, YouTube literally just squashes it. And I have seen that happen with like gardening or homesteading and videos and stuff like that, which I really enjoy making. And I can see myself in the future uploading that to a second channel just to be able to exercise that creativity and share this other side of my life. It's part of the reason why I started my website, my blog, was to be able to share that with you guys, and I love doing that in written form as well. But the like milestone for me when it comes to making it on YouTube would be to be able to upload whatever the heck I want and people will still be there to watch. With talking about the hardest part of doing YouTube, let me talk about the part that I love, because that's part of the question too. And it's you guys. It's the community. It's being able to share this journey that I'm on and have people who are interested in watching. Yeah, maybe the algorithm is difficult, and man, my worst performing videos nowadays, if I could see those numbers when I was first starting, I would be just absolutely gobsmacked, blown away by it. So I'm not here complaining, let's just put it that way. I'm grateful for what I have, and most of all grateful for you guys and for you being here. Some of you have been here from the very beginning. Some of you have been here since back when we were first uploading to our family channel. I took my pregnancy test with my boys when I found out that I was having twins, all throughout the journey of where we were in that tiny little house that we first had, and ups and downs of everything that we've been through as a family. Like, there's this element of being able to document life that is just so precious and sweet, and to have these people alongside that are cheering us on and giving us advice or encouragement. But YouTube has changed so much and the world has changed that it's now no longer something that aligns with our values and what we want for our family to have our kids that much online. Again, I'm okay with them running around in the background of my videos. I mean, as long as they have clothing on, because there has been plenty that I have had to edit out. We like to be free and breezy around here. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, like when it comes to goals or dreams and stuff that I have for the future for my involvement with YouTube and the type of content, I just hope someday that I can get to that point. I love making the videos that I make now. Don't get me wrong, I am not trying to make it sound like I'm just like trudging through and that I hate making videos about decluttering and minimalism and stuff like that. But the amount of thought and effort that goes into trying to create a title and a thumbnail that won't get completely squashed by the YouTube algorithm can definitely be a joy killer, a joy stealer in some moments. And so I'm hoping to be able to bust out of that. I don't have this electric sort of magnetic personality. I am not funny. I don't think I'm this person that like people love to watch because, oh my gosh, she's just like such a hoot. Like my friend Kim from the WODs, oh my goodness, I could watch her talk about paint drying and I would be so entertained. She is such a hoot. I feel like anything she uploads, people watch. I love that about her. I love that for her. I am one of her biggest fans. I am cheering her on, but I feel like I don't experience that. But here we are. I mean, you heard it from my mouth. Comparison is the thief of joy. So here I am comparing myself to my friend. And that is something that I intentionally have to like, hey, you know, you're in a different stage. You're in a different process. You're a different person. You have a different personality. God blessed her with so much sass and humor. And I love that. I love that so much. So we can all cheer each other on, right? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the road takes us and what the Lord puts on my heart as far as the future of my channel. I don't expect to ever stop making videos because I genuinely love it. I would just love to not be a slave to the algorithm anymore. That would just be wonderful. So we'll see what happens. I think that I can answer, I think we have enough time here. I'm looking at my timer. Oh, my battery is also dying and it's getting dark. Can you tell? I wonder what the kids are doing. They have been quiet for a while. Do I have enough time? Where do you get your decluttering motivation from? Any favorite YouTubers? Okay, let's end it on this note, because I always love to be able to spread the love, to share other people with you guys, to have you go over to other channels. So decluttering motivation for me comes in the form of setting a timer, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, getting up off my butt and just getting to work. But people who come alongside and encourage me to just keep going, keep moving, keep improving, keep learning. Dawn from the channel of The Minimal Mom, she is who I want to be when I grow up. She's only a little bit older than I am, but seriously, I want to be her when I grow up. She is so amazing, so humble, has the biggest heart. I was chatting on the phone with her a while ago and she's just as genuine in person as she is in her videos. So I'll link her channel. Candace from Simply This Life, I believe is the name of her channel. She's amazing. She's got great like bite-sized sort of videos to give you some spark and some motivation and some inspiration for minimalism or decluttering prompts. She's amazing. Clutterbug, Allie Gooch, But First Coffee. There's so many amazing channels, and I'm missing some right now off the top of my head. I will find more and I will link them for you in the description box. Go send them love. They give me so much decluttering motivation and encouragement, and I love how real they are. I feel like back when I was starting, I didn't see a lot of content that was super real and raw when it came to minimalism. And now I feel like, man, if you're just starting out on your minimalism journey, if you're looking to simplify your home, not even call yourself a minimalist, like whatever, forget the labels. If you're just starting out, oh my goodness, the resources, the encouragement, the camaraderie, the community that is available right now versus when I was starting out just 3 years ago, night and day difference. Minimal Mom was out there and she was a huge source of inspiration for me, so gotta give credit where it's due. But it wasn't like what it is right now, and that just warms my heart. I do not see that as any sort of competition, because that's not how YouTube works. We're all here just to support each other and to see the different methods and the different mindsets that other people take, and to sort of just have this collaborative effort to come alongside each other and our viewers, and to really just like continue to spread this message that you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need to fill your home with a ton of stuff. It's all about simplicity and really just like stepping back and enjoying your life. So I hope that is an encouragement to you today. I'm really excited for what 2023 has to offer. I hope that you enjoyed hearing more about my experience with minimalism or simple living, with working on YouTube and the challenges that can bring. I really, really appreciate having a place where I can share this with you guys. I know we all have different opinions about the stuff in our homes, or prepping a pantry, or having our kids in the background of our videos on YouTube. We all come from a different place and all have different perspectives, but I'm so grateful that 99% of the comments in my comment section are just supportive of me, supportive of each other, and I'm just filled with so much gratitude and so much just anticipation and excitement moving on into this new year. So plenty of decluttering and minimalism content coming to you in the start of the year, but stay tuned, because I would love to see how my content evolves and changes and comes out throughout the rest of the year. And if you have any requests on what you would like to see, not just minimalism or decluttering content, if there is something outside of those topics or genres that I can try to bust out of this algorithm with, let me know. You want to see some like cooking videos? I've recently been on a sourdough kick lately. Maybe I can make some videos about that the algorithm will just step on. I'm not bitter, not bitter at all. Okay, with that, I hear the kids starting to make noise again, so stuff's getting real. I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for spending a big part of your day. This has been a long video. Normally I say a little part of your day, but this has been quite the time investment, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. New story to tell, new sights, new scenes.